The Bulls fall, the Springboks attack. Rassie Erasmus' side are back. It's Springbok season, and we here, the big fixture. Welcome to the episode. It's the first start from the Springbok season. I'm Pro, and this is
Yeah, I'm Dean. We are the big fixture. Excited to get in on the rugby action. Springbok season has started. Coming to you live from Joburg. It's cold, but let's go. Let's go to the episode.
cold this side too, but watching the Springboks warms my heart. Yeah, they were playing against the Barbarians in Gqeberha. Very controversial things there as well. Aside from the match, obviously the match was a beautiful spectacle. And whenever anybody's playing the Barbarians, it's gonna be a free flowing match, which it was in the first half. And then second half, I think the Springboks just let loose. Yeah, Dean, what did you think about the match? Initial thoughts?
No, I think it was a good game. Very attacking, exciting rugby. Like that's what you want to see. Looked really good. Line speed, the way we were quick with the ruck ball, getting the ball out the ruck, spreading it wide. Everyone having the ball in two hands, forwards and backs. I think our attack was really, really impressive. I like the speed, like I said, as we attacked. Very
Yeah,
entertaining game, you know. Defenses were but open on both sides. There wasn't a lot of kicking, so I think it's not your everyday Springbok game. I think the next few games will be quite different. We'll see a bit more of a kicking game, a bit more structured, but it was an exciting game. It was good to watch, man. Very good to watch. Very entertaining.
yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a nice match to watch. And the Barbarians come in town, the defense, I agree with you there. The defense was a bit loose. Do you think that was more so, just the team still gelling together, or do you think there's a big problem there? Should we take more notes of it?
No, I think it's a case of the team still gelling. A lot of the guys was their first game. Had players who have never trained with a team before, so and we know with our defense, we play a defensive system where we push up very high. So obviously, you have to be in cohesion. If one person doesn't push up with the line, we screwed. So I think that takes time. Rassi's built this defense over time, this defensive system, and with players getting used to it and getting to know it, it's become a well-oiled machine. I think with the new players, it's just a case of adjusting to the new system, getting in sync as a team. So I think it's just down to players playing together for the first time, players making their debut. I don't think it's too much to read into. When we have like our senior players and our regular players back in, I think we'll see the defensive line that we know that we have. So I don't think we should read too much into it. Yes, maybe it's a concern, but I think it's gelling and training. We haven't had much time to train. I think we'll definitely be better in the upcoming.
Yeah, no, 100%. So first match, they've played in a while now. And man, some stellar performances though. Edward van der Merwe. I feel like I need to put on a SCRUMCAP, bro. I feel like I would, hey man, I'd be on that field. Edward van der Merwe. With the pace. And he took over Cheslin Colby's duties because Cheslin Colby was the one kicking. He had a nice kicking performance. He's been kicking the whole season for his team out in Japan, San Goliath. Yeah, man. How important did you think the kicking was? We didn't have a straight all out Flyhalf. Kwan was playing there, and he played well as well. I love seeing him in that position. Rice is well coming through with new innovations. Yeah, what did you think about, Cheslin Colby starting in for the kicks?
I think it was interesting because it gives us another kicking option. Also helps us with, Rassi likes a 6-2 split, sometimes a 7-1 split. So now that we know that Cheslin he can kick very well. It also helps us in that regard when it comes to our bench. Rassi can go with a 7-1, put a Scrumhalf on the bench. We know we have Cheslin who's a backup kicker. So it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. I don't think he's going to be our first choice kicker going forward. I definitely don't think that's the case. But he was good with the boot, especially first off. Very, very impressed. In terms of Q and Horn, yeah, he looked good. He has a boot, he could
Yeah,
very long.
yeah.
He got caught out. The first try they scored was him missing his tackle. I know Rassi
Yeah.
and defense is very important. And they probably weren't happy with him missing his tackle there. It was a one-on-one. They ran at him and he missed his tackle. Like, you can't do that in Test rugby. So, but it
Yeah.
was about him. We'll give him grace, but I think defensively, Rassi won't be very happy with that. So interesting to see him at 10. I don't think that's his best position. I think fullback is his best position, especially because we're on the attack. He's similar to Willemse in a sense where he can collect the ball and he can make something happen out of nothing. And he's also got like a boot as well. So I think fullback is his best position. I don't think we'll see him play 10 against when we versus England and those
England,
nations.
yeah.
Especially, like I said, because of defensively, there might be some question marks with him in the 10. He's also quite a small in stature compared to we're a very physical team. Our defense is our number one strength. But I was impressed. He conducted the backline well. He controlled the game. His game was good. I was impressed with him at the 10.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah, like you said with the defensive thing, yeah, Russ will not be happy about that. And he's well known for his defense. Horn, obviously that's why, he plays so well in that fullback position. And yeah, I think then obviously leaves a big question mark in terms of the number 10 spot. We saw Vusi Moyo coming in second half. He was also, quality that try, after Cleg's try, he was combining there with Paul de Villiers, also a stellar performance, away from the Stormers, Cape Town, the best club, in the country in terms of rugby. So, yeah, man. So it gives the questions for the number 10 spot. We have, he tried out Horn, over the weekend. There's Busumoyo, who's young, but he's also included in the squad, for the Nation Series. And then obviously the big boys, Libok, Pollard, and Sasha, who's currently injured. I think he's only back in August. What do you think the number 10 spots, how do you think it's going to be going, over the next few months?
I think, look, my preferred choice would be Mani. Mani is my guy. We both Stormers fans, seen what Mani can do. And he's got that Mani at 10, Willemse at fullback, they've got that connection. It's a shame that Reinach is injured right now. But I
Yeah,
would go with I just love the way he can control a game. Like, he's able to control a game, he's able to contact a backline. And I think we play our best attacking rugby when he's playing in the number 10. That game where
yeah,
we thrashed the All Blacks in New Zealand, he was playing number 10. So he's our best attacking 10. And I think Pollard's also, I think he's not in form right now. He didn't have a good couple of matches for the Bulls. So Mani would be my guy. I just want to touch on Vusi. He impressed me when he came on. He plays so matured. He plays a very matured game. He's very clean. He's like one of those flyers. I don't know. He reminds me of Monet Stein. Like Monet Stein, you'd never see at the end of the match, his shots are still white, bro. Like, you didn't even. He reminds me of Monet Stein. Like, he's very clean, like controlling the back line. It's like he knows what he wants to do before he even gets the ball. His decision making it's like he always makes the right decision. So he impressed me. The best way I can describe it is that he plays in a very matured way, which for his age is impressive. So he really impressed me. And obviously Rassi was impressed because he kept him in the side. He called him up. So but
yeah.
I would go with Mani, Pollard on the bench, just because, like I said, I don't think Pollard's on good form right now, and I just love Ducks our backline.
Okay, and then that's for the interim. So Sasha, obviously, does he then start back into the number 10 spot when he gets back from injury?
Yeah, no, of course, Sasha's one, in my opinion, best flyhalf in the world. When
Yeah,
he's back, gotta start. He's gotta start. And I think Willemse's best position is fullback, so I wouldn't want to play him in the 10. I feel like talents are better used outside. Let him run with the ball. Let him create magic. So I wouldn't put Willemse in the 10 because I think he's better at fullback, even center maybe. So yeah, but when
yeah.
Sasha's back out, that's our guy, bro. He's our 10 for the next 10 years. He's gotta start.
10 for the next 10.
10 for the next 10.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, no, I probably agree with you. Muddy starting and then, Ibok, Pollard on bench, speaking of Pollard, they were playing over the weekend, another L, in the URC final. Did you watch the match?
Hey, Bulls can't break this trophy drought. They've been on a drought,
Yeah, no,
and
I think it's
up to the Stormer side, we're looking good on the Stormer side. But it was sad. You know, even though we like many are Stormers fans, one thing I love about African rugby is we'll always be South Africa first. It's not
yeah,
like something like within football, players won't support other clubs because they have their club. Rugby is not like that. So I really wanted them to win. If the Stormers are out, you always want a South African team to win. I really wanted them to win that game, but oh, they got pumped. They got pumped. I don't
yeah.
know,
No,
man.
I think there's
There's some voodoo going on the.
what? I think the score was 22-0 at halftime. You were just like, where's the defense? Giving away poor passes. Yep.
No, I'm just saying it's crazy. Like 22-0 to start a final. It's unforgivable, bro.
Imagine,
Unforgivable.
giving away poor passes, even Pollard. I did watch a bit of that game. But we'll speak about it just now. And back to the Springboks. Edel van der Merwe with the hat trick. The guy, hey man, the guy's gas. The guy's fast, bro. He's putting up his name to say, hey, Rassi, I'm here. I wanna start in that position. Do you think he plays over Curtly, or do you think I probably shouldn't even ask him that. Do you think he plays over Chestnut? Maybe Edwell and KLA on the wings.
He doesn't play over Chesler. Nobody plays over
Yeah,
Chesler. But if you look at his record, right, in terms of the amount of games he's played for the Springboks, and then you look at the amount of tries he scored, like
hmm
it's he deserves a chance. He really deserves a chance. Like whenever he's put on a Springbok jersey, he's performed, and like you said, he's got gas. He's quick. I
yeah,
think I was in the hot seat. I'm starting him. Curtly just played a final. Maybe they just lost the final as well. They had a long season. I think starting. I think he deserves his chance. Start him. Yes, Curtly. Curtly can always come back into the frame. Curtly Arons is actually one of my favorite Springbok players. I think he's very underrated in terms of
yeah,
that's one of my favorite. He always puts his body in that line, and he's clinical. He's a clinical finisher. But like I said, when you look at Edel's numbers, whenever he starts, he performs. As a coach, you can't ask more from him. So I think he deserves his chance. I really want to see him start in the next game. Give him a run. Let's see what he can do. You know.
yeah. Yeah, no, he definitely wants to keep him, around the camp. There's been some tours where we put him in. Then obviously we leave him out because he knows that he won't play ahead of those two. So we'll see what he does. Like you said, if you wait the hot seat, you put him in for the England match. But we'll also speak about that and predictions for that. So we've spoken about wing. We've spoken about, Flyhalf, very important positions. Let's talk about Scrumhalf. So Grant Williams was in first half. You know what Grant gives you, the speed at the rack. He's fast, sniping as well. He unfortunately got a yellow card, in that match. I think he stopped. There was a deliberate knock on. And then, from there on, we had to build up the scrum for that 10 minutes. And then second half, Faf comes in, the big comeback, the long awaited appearance from Faf. He had a good match. He also scored try. Um, and then there's obviously Mbos Papir was playing, the URC final. So in terms of the number 9 spot, do you still think Grant retains that, or with Papir's season, do you think he'll take the number 1 spot in terms of Rassi speaking?
Yeah, I think if Reinach was fit, I think Reinach is Rassi's first choice.
Mhm.
Um, Grant is actually a tough one because he's so good, right? But the way he plays also, he's someone that you want on the field at the end of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Against tired legs, he can make a try out of nothing. He can play. He can make a line break. His speed. So he's a tricky one because I think he's our out of the nines that we have, I think he's our best nine. But it's tough because you want him at the end of the game also to come on against those tired legs. So I think if Reinach was fit, Rassi would go with Reinach. But okay, Reinach's not fit, so I think Grant has to start. Papir, I think he needs to get into the system. He hasn't played for Springboks in such a long time.
Yeah.
He's got to get in the system, learn our defensive system, get within the culture, gain the trust of the coaches. So I don't think throwing in the deep end would be the best idea. I was shocked when I saw the selections. When I saw that they didn't select Faf for the tour, I was actually shocked. I was like, why did he come on against the Barbarians? I don't know, maybe the coaches saw something they didn't like. I don't know what the case is, but they didn't select him, which is crazy. I thought he was definitely making the squad, especially with Reinach's injury. I thought Faf was a lock. I thought he was going to be Faf and Grant fighting out, and then him was as the third Scrumhalf, but he didn't select him. So it's interesting. Maybe he does trust Ambrose Papir now. Maybe he's going to bring him into the fold. We'll see. But Grant would be my number one, definitely.
So go with Reinach.
If Reinach's fit, I'm starting Reinach and then I'm bringing Grant off. Or the bench. He's a great player to bring off the bench.
Yeah, no, 100%. You also scored that nice try against England when we played them the last time. With that snipe. So, he had a good game against England. So I think Russ will definitely be looking at that as well. And yeah, no, obviously Papir is putting a lot of pressure, say, hey, call me in, it's been so consistent over the past few games. And yeah, we'll definitely see, obviously, with Prof also being not selected for the squad. And then I think onto, something a bit more controversial, it's been going on for a while now, maybe for the past 2 years. Obviously the brand and the popularity of the Springboks has grown over the past 2 years. But, but the big thing, the thorn, the nail in the skin, definitely the ticket prices. We saw Gqeberha was, quite an empty stadium. A lot of people had a lot of things to say about that. What's your take on what's going on with the high ticket prices, people struggling to come to the games? Yeah.
I think, look, it was when I saw the game, I was actually a bit surprised. Like, I haven't seen, especially the last few years with how successful we've been, I haven't seen a state like that. Usually when the box plates, it's packed ticket regardless of the ticket prices. So clearly might be an issue, because the stadium, there were a lot of empty seats. So maybe it is becoming a real issue. I was looking at the prices for the New Zealand tour, and if we're being honest with ourselves, there's a lot of South Africans that cannot afford those tickets. And
Yeah, for sure.
Springboks are our national team. I feel like they should be accessible to all South Africans. Yes, okay, I understand we've been very successful. The way our team is marketed now as a brand, like, I understand that you have a certain reason to make your ticket prices high because the product you're giving is excellent. We've been very successful. But I think there has to be some sort of intervention because I just feel like the Springbok should be accessible to everyone, and the way the ticket prices, especially this New Zealand tour right now, a lot of South Africans can't afford those tickets, if we're being honest. So I do think they need to look into that. I'm not saying lower the ticket prices, but have options for those South Africans that need the lower tier tickets, just have some options for them. Because at the moment, crazy, it's so hard to get tickets now for the games. And like I said, they should be accessible to everyone. It was sad to see. I don't know why the stadium was so empty. Maybe because it was a Barbarian game as well. Maybe the appetite's not friendly, but yeah, it was quite sad to see. GQ disappointed. They didn't show up in numbers. What do you think? What do you think about the ticket prices?
Yeah, no, same as you. The ticket prices should be more accessible to, the general public of South Africa. Like, seeing the guys, they like say, we're playing for South Africa. For the guys, who don't have food, who don't know where they're getting money for transport. So if you're playing for those guys, they should be able to come and watch you, play the match, because it's also not televised. For example, in SAPC, where, the majority of South Africans who don't have access to, let's say, DSTV or big channels can watch it. So, the guys want to watch you, they support you, and look at what was going on with Bafana, Gates and the team. They've been able to raise funds to be able to take, people to Mexico, its fans, etc., spending X amount of millions. We can also use some of that cash, to subsidize the Springbok players, and then to be able to reduce the ticket prices so that more and more people can go to the matches. I think I was seeing something that said, the players, they earn about, or you have to pay each player about like 100,000 rand in terms of match fees. So, and with how big the Springboks have grown, obviously then it's basically the reason why they would say, okay, we're growing the ticket prices as well, because look at the big brand, look at how much you have to pay the players. But if no one can afford it, then no one is coming to the matches. It's a bad image for the sport. So I definitely think you're right. And GQ definitely also didn't show up. But maybe it's, it could be a protest, where people are like, yeah, no, we're not gonna come through if the ticket prices are this high. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'll be attending any of the matches this year because of it. But yeah, man. And then, lastly, we're playing England, I think 4th of July, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, how do you think that match will go? Do you think we take it, or, England give us a challenge?
I'm excited, man. The English, us and the English are always the loudest fans in rugby. So I'm excited. I really hope somebody, whether it's Visa, whether it's Peter Stiff, when Pollard gets that ball, they need to show him, hey man, they need to show him, they need to humble him a little bit,
Yeah,
I'm excited. If there's one team that I hate Africa to lose to, it's the English. So
yeah,
the boys, look, I think everything's been going well. When I look at the press conferences and Rassi and the week, and it sounds like the culture it's good. It sounds like they're ready to go. Some new young talent coming in. I'm excited to see what Riley Norton can do if they're gonna bring him into the big game. We've got QNO and we've got Papir back in the setup. We've got some really good young talent. I think we're gonna be too much for them, to be honest. I think the England's they've been building over the last few years, and then they've been improving definitely. But I think we're still ahead of the pack in world rugby. I think we're still leading the pack quite substantially. So I think we're gonna have too much for them. But it's gonna be an entertaining game. They're a good side, and they play quite similar rugby to us as well. So they rely on the kicking game a lot. The Scrumhalf is very good off the boot. Their forwards very similar to us. Their forward game, they rely on that physicality. They try to outmuscle teams. They try to keep it close. They're not a team they're not like Argentina that's going to spray the ball recklessly, So they play similar
yeah.
to us. Either one team in rugby that I think plays the most similar to us in terms of the way their team is set up, the forward play, set pieces, kicking game. So they high ball as well. They fullback,
Mhm.
very good ball. So it's going to be interesting, but come on, man. The Box at home. No way. There's,
No
there's
way, no way, Jose. Yeah, guys,
no way.
please, please let us know in the comments what you guys think will happen in that match. 4th of July, if I'm not mistaken. Springbok versus England. It'll be a big one. The beginning of the Nation Series. Those are Dean's thoughts. He thinks we'll take the match. I also think we'll take the match. Definitely, we've been beating England in the past few years. Struggled with us in the World Cup. Struggled with us in the Autumn's series. And yeah, man, I will catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, SA8. Did you catch the South African A game?
I didn't, but I saw some stats and some standout performances on the
Yeah.
Flyhalf.
Mm,
For quality.
yeah. And the Tutuka brothers were there. That must be crazy. Playing for the Springboks with your brother must be an insane feeling.
Facts,
Um,
facts.
in fact, actually, I don't know if you know this, but I actually played against Manu Tutuka.
Really?
Yeah, he went to Northcliffe. So, and I think he's similar age as me, maybe 1 year older. So when I was playing first team at Rand Park, Northcliffe is obviously our
Mm,
biggest rival. He was playing first
mm.
team at North. So I actually played against him. It's crazy.
Jeez. Look at where the guy is now. You know, look at where here we are on the pod.
Hey, yeah, talking to you.
Are you in focus?
Yeah, it's cool to see like him and his brother playing with your brother for Springboks. Insane. And like I think they only got their citizenship last year. It's a nice story as
Where
well. Was I heard that like they weren't sure if they would actually get the opportunity to play for the Springboks and all of that. So it's a very nice story that they will be able to play together on the field.
I know for sure. So you're saying they should move the England match to the 29th because we know, there's something going on the 30th.
This is not a political podcast, bro. We don't involve ourselves in politics.